Thank you all so much for coming out for our second round of community meetings. My name is Kimberly Sims, and I am the Public Information Manager for the 35Express project. Wanted to introduce some folks from our team. We have Andrew Schneeman, who is one of our design coordinators for the North segment. We also have Tom Jones, who is the construction manager for this segment. We have Keeman Rowe, who is helping us with the live tweeting tonight. We also have Stephen Fasharo in the back, Lindsay Searley in the back. We also have Kent from Texas Transportation Institute, as well as Cliff, who will be joining our team in just a few weeks now. Get the clicker on here, we can get some moving. So if you're a tweeter, one thing that we're doing tonight is doing live tweets. We will be, for those who couldn't make it as well, if they want to tweet in a question, we'll be stopping periodically to take those questions. Towards the end of the presentation, if you have a question, we ask that you come up to the microphone so that everybody can hear you and we can get the question answered. But if you're shy and you don't want to get up and speak, you can always tweet your question in. Our handle is 35Express, and then you would use hashtag 35ExpressChat. How many of you, this is the first time you've heard this presentation or you've been to a community meeting before? So I'll start out by talking some basics about the project. If you've heard this before, I apologize, just bear with us as we work through this. The 35Express project is a design-build project. Construction is being led by AGL Constructors, which is a joint venture between Archer Western, Granite, and Lane. We are also joined by our design team of Parsons and HDR. What a design-build project does is it cuts the time in half that a normal project would take to build. A project like this may take 8 years, may take 10 years, but we're going to get it done in about 3.5 to 4 years. So it allows our teams to be flexible and to be fluid and to move things along a little bit quicker. As many of you know, we need lots more capacity. I think I heard a stat that said we get 1,000 new folks into Texas every year. A lot of those people are coming to the North Texas region, so we know that we need more capacity, especially in this area. So this project will increase capacity, manage congestion, and improve mobility in the area. We run through 8 different cities, 2 counties. We work with 4 different transportation agencies, 2 federal government agencies, all working together to make sure that this project runs smoothly, to make sure communication runs smoothly, and to make sure that we're coordinating. There's lots of construction going on in the area, so we have to make sure that we're talking to one another to make sure that we are not impacting every east-west or north-south connection. To give you a little bit of an overview of this project, we run about 30 miles, and that's going to be between 380 and Denton, all the way down to 635 in Dallas. We'll be building new general purpose lanes, frontage road lanes, and a managed lane system. If we were to do everything that needed to be done to I-35 today, it would cost us $4.8 billion. We only have $1.4 billion identified, so we are doing the project in phases. Everything that I talk to you tonight will be about phase 1 of the project. That is what AGL Constructors is contracted to do by the Texas Department of Transportation. We began construction in late October of last year, and we expect to finish up by mid-2017. To give you some numbers, we expect to create about 900 different jobs at the peak of this project. We will be excavating 1.1 million cubic yards of earth. That's about half the size of the AT&T Stadium, pouring about 400,000 cubic yards of concrete, using about 79.4 million pounds of steel. That's about the same as 8,000 elephants. The elephant weighs about 9,000 pounds on the low end. And then we'll be placing over 650 bridge columns and 2,570 beams. A new unique part of this project is the managed lane system. TxDOT recently opened the Texpress lanes on the LBJ project, and so we will have a similar system on the 35Express project. Managed lanes are a congestion management tool with variable pricing. Our lanes will be reversible. They will go southbound in the morning and northbound in the afternoon. The lanes will be separated by barriers and have 11 access points on the north and the southbound sides. You can be a single occupant vehicle or a high occupancy vehicle to use these lanes. You can have one person, or you can have 2 people, or you can have 10 people. This particular part of the project is called the middle segment. We have divided this project up into 3 segments to handle the public outreach a little bit better. This particular section runs from FM 2181 Tuberville all the way to President George Bush Turnpike. So we cover the cities of Lewisville, Highland Village, Lake Dallas, Hickory Creek, excuse me. So part of what we're going to be doing with the middle segment, as you can see, between 121, the Sam Rayburn Tollway, is adding an additional lane of traffic. So you'll have 4 lanes of traffic between 121 all the way down to Tuberville Swisher, and then you'll have the managed lanes there in the middle. Again, we talked about the additional general purpose lanes, ramp improvements, drainage improvements, and bridge improvements. We'll be touching about 75 different bridges along the corridor through this project. They will either be reconstructed, rehabilitated, or expanded. And I know you're wondering, you're probably saying, I don't see 75 bridges when I travel. A lot of times you'll see 2 structures, one's a northbound, one's a southbound, or one's an eastbound, and one's a westbound. We count those bridges each, and not as a set, but separately. One of the bridges that we will be impacting is the Denton Drive Bridge, and this is the bridge near the barbecue place with the pig in front, right on the edge of the lake. We will be taking that particular bridge down and expanding Oak Drive, which is a little street that's near that area, and we'll be taking that across under I-35. So I-35 will become a bridge in that area. This will eliminate a lot of the deficiencies, and if any of you drive on that Denton Drive Bridge, you know it has some deficiencies there and some little quirks. So by doing this, we'll fix that roadway. Also, another feature in the middle segment is the extension of Tuberville-Hanley Road. This will become a 2-way, and you'll be able to connect directly into 35 here. And then here is another version of that same intersection. Another feature of this project is a new southbound Lake Lewisville bridge. Currently, what you're driving on now, the north and the southbound bridge, when we get finished with construction, that'll be all of the northbound traffic only. And the bridge that we are building will hold all of the southbound traffic. So when we get finished, the Lake Lewisville Bridge will be 14 lanes across. And so you can see here, this is where we are today, and this is where we will be in mid-2017. That includes 2 frontage roads. We don't have frontage roads right now, so 2 frontage roads on each side, pedestrian walkway, 4 lanes of traffic in each direction, plus the managed lane system in the middle there. And then here's an image of what the Lake Lewisville Bridge will look like once complete. And you can see here this barrier protected area here is the managed lane system. And then here's another image of the Lake Lewisville Bridge. We'll be making improvements to Coppers Branch Park. As many of you know, we closed that park down in September, and once we get through with construction, we'll open it back up. You'll have new trails on the east side of the park, new roads, parking lots, and a walk bridge on the west side. We're also going to have new bridges at Garden Ridge Boulevard and Fox Avenue. Garden Ridge work is expected to start this summer, and then Fox Avenue is scheduled to begin early 2015, about the first quarter. Here's what Garden Ridge will look like once we have completed that work. And if you'll notice right over here, you'll see the trail system. The bridge has a walkway on each side. One of the walkways tied directly into the DCTA station here. Another new feature is the new FM 407 bridge. The FM 407 bridge will go underneath I-35. And this is what that intersection will look like here. This is 407, and this is 35. And work on the FM 407 bridge should start at the end of this year, early 2015. Another feature is access on the north side of the Sam Rayburn Tollway. Right now you've got access on the south side, but not on the north side. So if you'll see here, we've got ramps that go from 121 to 35 and from 35 to 121 there. Just to let you know, we've been working really hard. This FM 407 is one of the first areas that we started construction in. Some of the first things that we do is drainage work. So we started drainage work back in October of 2013 around FM 407. We started placing the drill shafts, so those big wire things that you see sticking up out of the ground near the lake, those are what we call drill shafts. They're kind of the first step in building the bridge supports. And then, of course, we've been clearing a lot of the land near the lake to make way for the new bridge. And I'll show you some pictures of bridge construction. This is what we call a casing. This goes down into the hole first, and then we put the rebar cage in there. Those are the metal things that you see sticking out. And you can see how large that is. It's an average sized man, and he's welding what they call eyes into that, and that helps to lift that casing in and out. More clearing of area near the lake. And then this is clearing of land and excavation on the north end of the lake. And then here's some work that we've been doing around FM 407. One of the things that will be coming up within the next month or so is the paving of the new southbound frontage road. Upcoming work, we will be shifting traffic on the Lake Lewisville Bridge next month, which means traffic will be moving over to the west so that we can begin some of the water work that we need to do and stage equipment. We'll be constructing retaining walls near FM 407, and then placing embankment for the southbound main lanes and the managed lane system between Corporate Drive and Hebron Parkway. Garden Ridge Bridge work, as I mentioned earlier, begins this summer. And then finally, just wanted to make sure that you all are staying in touch, that you are on our list. We do have a website, 35express.org. We do have an e-newsletter that comes out every other week. We have text alerts. We're very active on Facebook and Twitter. And for those of you who are not on social media, we do have traditional methods. We have a hotline that's answered from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. The picture towards the back is the front page of our website. We have scrolling traffic alerts. We have a direct link to the cameras that line I-35, so if you ever want to see what's going on the interstate, before you leave the house, you can click on that link and go to the cameras in your area. And then we also have a 30-day outlook. We try to update this around the first of every month, and it gives you a good idea of what to expect coming ahead. We also have community meetings. This is the second one we've had. We'll have these probably every 6 months to keep you updated on construction, to tell you what's been going on. We have one for each segment. Last night we had the north up in Denton. Tonight we have the middle. And then on Thursday we'll have the south, which is at Farmers Branch City Hall. We do have an office that you can come in and visit. A lot of the schematics that you were looking at outside, a lot of you had questions about right-of-way. We have all those big maps and schematics in our office. They're also available on our website, but feel free to come by the office. Again, we're there from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, and on Saturdays by appointment. We do have opportunities for small businesses, DDEs, and subcontractors. We are partnering with the workforce boards in Denton and Dallas counties for a lot of our employment opportunities. So if you're interested in providing a service to the project, just shoot an email to opportunities@aglconstructors.com. And just a few things. As we start to ramp up on construction and everything is getting busier and the work zone is getting more active, we want to remind you that Work Zone Awareness Week is April 7th through the 11th. We'll be pushing out messaging to let you know about this and some of the dangers of speeding through work zones, and then also distracted driving month is in April. So I know no one in here texts while driving. I know I don't. That's all I have for our update. Do we have any questions or concerns? Any tweets coming in?
We did have a question. Will we be completing the interchange with southbound flyovers at I-35 and 121?
When will it be completed?
Will we be
Yes.
with flyovers?
Yes.
Question?
Yes.
What was the question?
I'm sorry, the question was, would there be flyovers at 121 and I-35 intersection?
What's a flyover?
I'm sorry for the technical terms. Those are the high ramps. That's kind of a, I guess, for lack of a better word, kind of a nickname for the high ramps.
Okay.
Tom, did you want to elaborate?
They're also called high-speed direct connectors. You take them in freeways that are designed for 45 miles an hour, speed limit typically, and then obviously the freeway you get up to 55 to 70 miles an hour. But there's no lights. There'll be a ramp system like George Bush Interchange, same thing. We'll be enhancing all that, connecting northbound both east and westbound 121 and southbound east and westbound 121 on the north side of 121, which currently is up. You have to take the intersection and the traffic signal route, right? It's pretty busy in the mornings and the evenings. This way you'll be able to jump on your direct connector and hopefully stay speed on the toll.
If you have a question, if you will please come up to the microphone so everyone can hear your question.
You'll be able to hear me. How much of 35 will be a tollway?
The managed lane system will be tolled, and those are the 2 lanes that run down the middle. We are constructing free lanes on each side between 121 and 380. So 35 will not be a completely tolled tollway. You will have the choice of using the managed lanes, which run down the center between 635 and Tuberville Swisher, or you can stay on the regular lanes.
And approximately what will the toll be to start with?
Donna, do you want to take that question?
Approximately what will the toll be, say to get from Denton to Dallas to start with?
Okay, the toll rates are set by the regional transportation council made up of elected officials, city officials from all across the metroplex. And so they put a cap on that. Bill, is it 75 cents a mile?
Yeah, it starts out at 14.5 cents a mile.
Yeah, it starts out at 14.5 cents a mile, and then depending on the traffic congestion and how they're working, then they'll be adjusted that way.
It's adjusted, not for, keeping it low, so that
Could you all step up to the microphone with your questions and answers so everybody can hear, please?
Let me bring it down.
Thank you.
I've got a couple of questions. Is the city of Highland Village represented here as official? I'm sorry?
I just live there.
I live there too. Is there a city official here from Highland Village?
Unfortunately, we scheduled this meeting during their city council, so they're at the city council meeting.
Okay. On the project itself, on the access road going from Highland Village Road to southbound Highland Village Road to Guard Bridge, is that going to be raised? Currently, when we have high water in the whole pond, it actually floods back into the road.
Yes, we'll be going up to a bridge structure at Highland Village Road and southbound Third.
So it can't get flooded anymore.
Correct. We take everything is made to accommodate 100-year flood.
Okay. All right.
We have a tweet. Will there be provision for pedestrian access under I-35E at Prairie Creek, just north of the 171 intersection?
No. I know we've just had discussions with the city of Lewisville about the trail system that they're looking at. Right now in our division, we're putting additional box culverts to handle the drainage. In the phase 2, those are supposed to be bridges, and so they're looking at phase 2 to be able to have the pedestrian access for the trail system underneath that.
We have another question. Will access roads be built to allow access from I-35E southbound frontage road to Trinity Mills eastbound for the Trinity Mills Dart Station.
We will not do any additional infrastructure right there at the Florida Bush interchange. The existing conditions will stay. There is some additional main lane construction we'll do, but we will not do any access into it. But there is, I guess I'll say though, I can advise that a little bit. There is a new road that's going to go over, it's called Dickerson. You can exit Dickerson, it'll go over into the train, over by the train station, but it doesn't go directly into the train. You'll have to kind of loop around to get to it.
Any other questions? Yes, sir.
The bridges in Highland Village, will they be closed at 407 and Garden Ridge while the new bridges are going up?
We'll close the 407 bridge for approximately 4 months.
Or less.
Or less. While we build, what we'll do at 407, we will build the bridge, the new bridge on the west side as close up to the existing bridge as possible before we take it down and then finish the bridge. Then we're going to get 407 underneath. Then the Garden Ridge bridge will be built in halves. We'll keep the existing bridge in place, build half of it, then we'll take the existing bridge down and build the other half.
Okay, but it won't happen at the same time because those are the only two entrances in the Highland Village.
Correct. There are provisions that we have to have so much work done on 407 interchange before we take access to the Garden Ridge.
So as you're heading south down 35, there's that exit ramp that takes you onto the access road to Highland Village Road. Will that stay open or will that?
No, that will be closed. There will be when you come southbound, there will be a separate exit, temporary exit put in for there, but you won't exit from the park and run down all that road. There'll be a shorter exit that'll be put in there.
Thank you. And don't forget our schedule. Garden Ridge is expected to start this summer with FM 407 starting towards the end of this year or first quarter of 2015.
Okay, I just want to make sure I understand this. I live in Hickory Creek, so we're getting rid of both the bridges that go over I-35, the existing ones, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, am I understanding that actually we're going to be going under I-35 when those bridges come down?
Correct. Both situations.
So we will no longer have bridges that go across the highway, we will be traveling
Yes,
underneath.
you'll be traveling grade. The Hundley terminal actually goes down a little bit, so that the bridges aren't quite so high. It's about a 50-50 split. The bridges will be about 10 foot high, and then we'll go down to the ground at 10 feet.
And 407 is the same way?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
And it's also the same thing for Corinth Parkway, also.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I live at Garden Ridge and 35, and for those of us that literally have the construction in our backyard, when will those access roads be completed? Will traffic be diverted onto those access roads while you're constructing the regular, I guess, freeway? And then when will the retaining walls and sound barrier walls go up?
We are looking to install the sound barrier that protects your house as early as we can. The additional one that's further south will be constructed after the main lanes in the front of the access road are constructed.
Now, when you say as early as you can, is that before or after that access road is completed?
Hopefully before we put traffic on there, that's our goal.
Okay, and then at the last meeting, it was mentioned that construction was going to begin to be 24 hours a day. Is that still slated to begin 24 hours? And with that being said, of course, it's in our backyard, so is there going to be some reprieve for sleep?
The 24 hours, well, the intent was we will be taking material at night and processing at night as well as in the daytime. We will be taking material, traffic volumes aren't very friendly during the daytime. We're actually taking material, we're planning on taking some material from the LBJ project because they're still excavating, getting ready to shake hands, sign a contract. So most of that work around the clock will be happening at 407 approximately 800 foot north and 800 foot south, not up at Garden Ridge at this time. We're not planning on working round the clock. Obviously, if we do and there's an issue, we want to hear about it so we can make adjustments.
Yeah, because it's already starting fairly early, of course, and then y'all kind of, yeah. And then y'all, y'all cut off reasonably, like at 5 or 6,
Yep.
but it's the beeping trucks. I understand that, but, so that's our concern.
Yeah, those are backup alarms. Those are
Mhm.
required by OSHA. There are 2 settings on them, high and low. Make sure they're on low. We certainly not, we gotta make sure we're not being too big of a, it's construction. It's gonna be a little bit of an inconvenience, but hopefully we're working every day. We're getting that much closer to the end, so it's a long project, and we're gonna try to make sure we accommodate wherever we can.
Okay. So what is the time frame for those sound barrier retaining walls to go up, do you know?
Well, I don't know.
Bogart.
From Bogart south, is kind of where we're looking at making the switch from the old to the new, all the way down south of 407. We're looking at switching in late June, early July. The paving will start here in May, the concrete paving.
But that's south of Bogart.
From Bogart, they'll actually transition over north of
Okay,
Bogart.
I'm on Pinehurst, so
Yeah,
that
right.
section,
But you're north of Bogart,
yes.
and so that's actually falls a little bit later. When we can start construction, we have to start building the walls for the interchange and all that stuff, so that will come later on towards the end of the year. Where that front road will be complete, that we can get in there.
Okay. So, yeah, because I'm at Pinehurst.
Where's Pinehurst? Is it north of Garden Ridge, south of Garden Ridge?
There,
It's south of Garden Ridge. I've actually taken a portion of our backyard. So it's right there in that cul-de-sac.
Oh, okay.
Garden Ridge, the cul-de-sac, we have the pool right there. That's us.
Well, that's you.
That is, yeah.
Okay.
So if y'all want to take a swim, we have a fence, go ahead.
We actually have, as soon as the plans come out, which will be in late May, early June, we're gonna try to get going on building that up, and
Okay.
instead of later this year, I'd like to do it by the third quarter this year, going on. What's happening there is the frontage road is actually be built up
Right.
on walls and terraced up. The frontage road is gonna meet up at Garden Ridge Bridge elevation, so there will be some work, but again, I don't see a lot of it being at night. Not like 407. Excuse me. I don't see a lot of that work happening at night. There may be a few rounds, but when they bring the dirt in at night, we're talking 2,000 to 3,000 yards a shift, and it'll come up quickly at 407. 407 is a mainline fill, as opposed to Garden Ridge southbound. Frontage road, that's a smaller fill, will be done in a more rapid time frame.
Yes, sir.
If you've got Hallandose Road coming out to the freeway as it exists right now to the east, and you're gonna build an elevated ramp there, are y'all gonna do an elevation of Hallandose Road to take you up to that portion?
the frontage roads will actually come down.
It'll come down?
Yes,
to meet Hallandose Road?
the existing Hallandose Road, where it will intersect the frontage roads, will be elevated approximately about 5 foot from where the elevation road is now. But there is a bridge that comes down, will meet Hallandose, then you'll take that bridge and go back up
I see, okay.
over the pond to the south.
Are there gonna be any kind of sound barriers built after the roadway is complete on that section that goes across the pond? Are y'all gonna have any kind of like a sound barrier there that will help to alleviate some of the additional sound
Yes.
in the freeway that's gonna be going back to the west?
Yes, there are sound barriers that will be on the mainline bridge, then they'll get transferred over to the frontage road bridge as it comes up going north, and they will end about where the land ends.
Okay, but that's going to the north. I'm talking about if you're
Well, that's what I'm
coming south.
When you're coming south, it won't be on the ramp bridge, it won't be on the frontage road bridge, but it'll be on the mainline bridge. Yes, there are sound walls in there.
Okay, so what you're saying is the part that's going to be elevated going across the pond is going to have a sound
Correct.
barrier along that as well.
Yes.
All that.
I think the barrier wall, which is current plans are mounted on, is integral to part of the barrier red. It's
Correct.
a bridge. So the wall's not a separate structure, it'll actually be
On the
attached to the top of the barrier rail. It's all on the bridge.
Okay.
spoke earlier, and I know that the plans as it stands right now, you mentioned that they're losing going north on the 35, they're losing the Highlands Village exit.
Correct.
As it stands right now, may or may not end up that way, but that's the way it's planned right now. When are they planning to close that exit? When you're going north on the 35 to exit the Highland Village now, when are they planning to close?
The two-way closure?
Yes.
When we start working on the bridge going over the pond, that's when we'll have to close it for construction traffic.
And when do you think that's going to be?
Probably late summer.
Late summer?
I have a question, you'll be able to hear me. You mentioned earlier that the managed lanes, in the morning going south and in the evening going north, are going to be the toll roads for this project. How many lanes are going to be, are those managed lanes going to have?
Two.
Just two.
Just two?
Just two.
So, now let me understand this right also. Do I understand that there's going to be a total of 11 lanes?
No 11 lane toll road. There's only 2 lanes in the middle, and that's the managed lane system.
Okay.
Now, we do give you an additional general purpose lane, that's a free lane, and those additional lanes will be between the Sam Rayburn Tollway and US 380.
So how many, in counting the managed lanes, how many total lanes are we looking at?
2.
No. Total lanes are across.
Oh, total, I'm sorry,
We'll be up
total.
to 10. 10 and with auxiliary lanes, maybe in 11 in some areas.
Okay, now I have one other dumb question. Based upon previous background, how many, what percentage of the vehicles will use the managed lanes?
Have to take Donna.
Please ask the question one more time.
Okay, based upon previous background, what percentage of people will use the managed lanes?
Probably 2,000 to 3,000 a day.
So is that like 10 or 20 or 30%?
It depends on the time of day, but yeah, it's probably about 20% of the traffic.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
And I was going to ask you a question while I go about the tolling. We ended up having an issue. I go ahead with the Department of Transportation in Dallas District. The toll policy for the Regional Transportation Council is to have a peak hour toll. What we end up doing is flexible tolling rates. The rate will start out at 14.5 cents a mile. As you go through there, you're guaranteed in the managed lanes a 50-mile-an-hour speed. If it drops below there, you will get a discount for going in there. You get refunded if it doesn't, if it gets below 50 miles an hour. The toll rate will go up as congestion goes up. So the intent is to, if you're in there, you'll pay more if it's in highly congested time of day, because there's all kind of day pricing, so that as you get more congested, it'll get more expensive, but you are really looking the speed. If the speed drops below that speed, you will not have to pay the toll at that point, so you estimate yourself. And that's the reason it goes up, the speed up to 75 cents a mile. It starts at 14.5 cents. On Saturdays or Fridays, remember, it could be way down at 14.5 cents and never get above that, because the rest of the lanes will be free. Most people will use it at that point, but if you decide you want to be somewhere or allow the time frame, you use those managed lanes to get there.
Is there not a cap?
There is a cap of 75 cents to get to that. So we'll go to that point and we'll stop at that point.
But one thing to clarify, whatever the price is you got into the lanes at is what you're, if correct me if I'm wrong, what you're paying the whole way, unless you drop the speed. They're not going to jump it up to 75 cents a mile if you're already in there.
Yeah, it'll be incremental. As it goes up, you'll go up to maybe 5 cents, and if it still gets congested, it'll go up another 5 cents. But once you're in there, you'll not be elevated by the entry. Basically, new people entering, maybe will see it totally. Once they enter at that point, that'll be where they go. And as the peak hour goes back down, it'll start dropping back down.
And do y'all provide statistical reports on that? So whoever uses that managed lane can kind of judge their budget, I guess?
Yes, you'll be able to see what, you'll have a report on your tolling bill that comes to you.
Will you be able to see what the toll is going to be
in time to get into a different lane and not get in there?
Yes, you'll be
What's
notified.
the question?
There, you'll be able to know enough time not to get in the lane if the toll is one of you on a toll, and you will be notified before you get in there. There'll be in advance, you have 2 notifications of who alerts you out right there before you get in. You'll get in there every moment, depending on where you're in or not.
On your sheet right here, you have you have 2 acronyms, HOV and SOV. HOV, I assume I know what it is. What the hell is an SOV?
It's a single occupancy vehicle. HOV is multiple, single is and that's what people have, in the past, when HOVs have been upset because there's extra capacity not being used. This will eliminate that situation.
Any other questions? Well, thank you so much for coming out. I want to call your attention. We have a survey that's out there. We want to make sure that you are getting the information that you need regarding the project. So if you'll take some time just to fill out the survey and leave it for us, we should have it up on the website tomorrow. So if you would prefer to take it online, you can also do that as well. Thank you for coming out.